Every relationship hides a story, and every story carries pain. Welcome to Cheating Stories Insights, where truth bleeds through words. When she was alive, I never set foot on that farm. It was the one rule she made clear from the beginning: never go there. She said it with a smile, soft and unthreatening, but something about her tone left no room for questions. I obeyed. For years, I obeyed. And then, she died. The lawyer placed the rusted keys in my hand as if passing me a burden. "It's yours now," he said. I nodded, pretending to care. I didn't want the land, or the house, or the memories clinging to it like vines. I planned to sell it before the dirt could stain my hands. But curiosity has a pulse, and that night it beat louder than reason. So I drove out there, past the empty roads, through the fog that clung to the hills like breath on glass. The farmhouse appeared out of the mist, still and colorless, as if time had stopped breathing around it. When I unlocked the door, a gust of cold air escaped. Stale, thick, almost human. And inside was her voice. Not literally, but in traces. Her perfume still in the curtains. Her jacket still on the chair. But beneath it all, there was something else, a faint metallic scent, like rust and regret. I stepped forward. The floorboards sighed beneath me. Then I saw the photographs. They lined the walls in neat, obsessive order. Every frame held her face, her smile, her eyes. But the backgrounds weren't familiar. Not our home, not our city, different places entirely. Beaches I'd never visited, cabins I'd never seen. And beside her, in every photo, was a man I'd never met. He stood close to her, too close, his hand on her waist, her head resting on his shoulder. The same hand, the same shoulder, the same face, repeated across years I thought she spent with me. I couldn't breathe. I picked up one of the photos. The date etched on the back was during our honeymoon. The place? Alaska. She told me she hated the cold. She told me she'd never go somewhere like that. My throat burned. Betrayal doesn't hit like a storm. It's slower, like drowning in your own disbelief. For a moment, I almost laughed, because all this time I thought I'd been the one keeping secrets. I searched the rest of the house, every drawer, every room. There was a locked door in the basement, its handle wrapped in tape. My hands trembled as I cut through it. Inside, I found her journals, leather-bound, dated, precise. She wrote every day. Her handwriting was neat, detached, methodical, like someone documenting an experiment. The first pages were harmless, her morning routines, the weather, what she cooked. But as the pages turned, the tone changed. She began writing about him, how they met before me, how she kept him hidden, how she couldn't decide which life felt more real. One entry read, "He doesn't know about the farm. He must never know. It's where I keep the truth." The words made my skin crawl. The next entry mentioned a room, a place she called the cellar. It wasn't listed anywhere on the floor plan, but the walls told me where to look. Behind the shelves in the pantry, I found a seam, a narrow gap that didn't belong. I pushed, and the wall gave way with a low groan. A hidden staircase spiraled down into darkness. Each step echoed like a heartbeat. The air grew colder, the smell stronger. At the bottom was a small room, no windows, no light except from the crack above. And in the center, a metal chair, bolted to the floor, chains, a camera, a box of photographs. My pulse stopped trying to make sense of it. The photos were all the same man, the one from the walls. But these weren't the same moments. These were later. His eyes hollow, his face gaunt, his wrists bound. I felt the bile rise in my throat as I flipped through them. The dates ran long after she married me. She hadn't been having an affair. She'd been keeping a prisoner. I backed away, but something in me refused to panic. The shock settled like frost in my chest. She'd lived a double life, and I'd been too blind to see it. She'd forbidden me from coming here, not to hide love, but something far darker. I found one last journal, separate from the rest. The final entry was dated 3 days before her death. He stopped breathing today. I buried him behind the barn. If anyone finds this, I hope they understand. I did it for love. The handwriting faltered near the end, as if written in haste or guilt. I walked outside, toward the barn. The fog had thickened again, but I saw the mound she described, a slight rise in the earth, newly grown over. I didn't dig. I didn't need to. The truth was enough. By the time the sun rose, I had packed everything, the journals, the photos, the keys, and placed them neatly on the kitchen table. Then I called the lawyer, told him the farm would be sold as planned. He asked if I wanted to remove any personal items first. I told him there was nothing personal left. Before leaving, I went down to the cellar one last time, stood in front of the chair. It wasn't guilt I felt, not sorrow either, just clarity. Because for years, I believed she had power over me. Her secrets, her rules, her mysterious charm, they'd shaped my silence. But standing there in that cold room, I realized the truth. She'd been the prisoner all along, trapped by her own delusions. I turned off the light, locked the door behind me. As I stepped outside, the wind carried the faint scent of her perfume again. Sweet, familiar, fading. I let it go. And for the first time since her death, I exhaled. I didn't bury her secret to protect her. I left it there to rot beside everything she ever made me believe.